The Board of Trustees at a Wellington school has apologised to the parents of an autistic child who was locked in its seclusion room and says it's now been closed. The seclusion room, that is, of course. The Education Ministry has released a report into Miramar Central School's use of the room following a complaint by a parent in July who discovered her 11-year-old autistic son had been put in there on 13 occasions over 9 days. Psychologist Terry Johnston has found there was more than 65 dates in 2015-16 where children were placed in the room for behaviour such as biting, hitting, kicking and being generally disruptive. The report found some occasions where children had been put in the room had not been logged and there was miscommunication between some parents and teachers over its use. Remember, most of these children were from a special education unit. Ngaire and Jeremy Mansfield only learnt this week their 6-year-old autistic son Baxter, with a mental age of a toddler, was one of those who wasn't logged. He was put in the room without their knowledge. We'll hear from them shortly, but first here's what the spokesperson for the school's Board of Trustees, Pete McFarlane, said to us earlier.
We told him at the time that we didn't believe Baxter had been in timeout, and that's, to the best of our knowledge, that was the case.
Because it hadn't been logged. Baxter, a
right.
non-verbal small boy with the mental age of a 2 or 3-year-old, had been put in timeout and it hadn't been logged.
Yeah, so I'll just explain a bit further than what happened there, because I'm not contesting any of the facts that Jeremy and Ngaire have put, because that tallies with what I found out also. We think he was in there for between a minute and 2 minutes.
Right, but he was put in there, wasn't he? I don't want to repeat the details of Baxter because it seems gratuitous. Non-verbal, low, mental age of 2 to 3.
Yeah, it's horrifying.
And is that why you've closed the room? Because basically this is not an appropriate response to children like Baxter.
Yeah, I think that over the last 15 years or so since this unit was built and the timeout room was put in it, thinking has changed about how we manage this kind of extreme behaviour.
When you say extreme, Pete, extreme. This Baxter's 6. He's not a member of the headhunters.
Appreciate what you're saying there. That's true, but I mean, we also have a duty of care to our other students.
So, Ngaire Mansfield, Baxter's mum, what did she think about that when we spoke to her? She'd listened to that, and this is what she made of it all.
I'm absolutely sorry too that this has happened, that it took this much media coverage and personal anguish from a lot of people to force some transparency, and for the powers that be to take a closer look was, it's gone a long way. I think we and other parents should have had that transparency a long time ago. I can see that Peter's sentiments are genuine, as for the teachers close to my son, and appreciate the human element in his response. I'm still really disappointed in the principal and what appears to be a dysfunctional board alongside him. John Taylor Smith has not fronted up when this is his school, and primarily for that reason I stand by my decision to remove my child from that school.
It's Baxter's mum, Ngaire Mansfield. Lots of you suggesting that maybe special education units are simply under-resourced. We will discuss that with the ministry when we get the opportunity to.